Consume is good. You should consume as much as you can. Every waking second should be spent consuming shit. Never think about the consequences. The time you think about this, you already missed the opportunity to consume a little bit more. And not just that, never think about money. Money is just an abstract concept. It doesn't exist. People who tell you that it exists are CIA psyops, and this is like the government trying to get you. If somebody pays your salary because you work 160 hours a week per month, don't take it. Just dump it. This is also a psyop. Everything is a psyop, man. Cope and see. It's the psyop. Don't take the bait, man. But besides that, I wanted to say I kind of recognize an interesting pattern. One person cutting the other person off on a regular basis, interrupting the person. Therefore, I somewhat wanted to interrupt the person, but the other person got a short fuse of this. I don't care if the explanation sucks, but the funny thing is, like, the person associates this person with me, like we're synologists, so to say, and that's not the case. And yeah, this kind of stuff happened. But also, I got to do my stuff and my bits and ask around. Get a lot of tags, get a lot of infos, depend on a lot of external sources. I hate this, as everything that leaves my circle is out of my autonomy and reach, and therefore in my personal world not possible to achieve and will fail miserably. But let's hope and pray and see. But besides that, there is still some fun involved. I just grind myself to mush in the meantime, and I think I'm hitting like certain borders which I shouldn't hit. The most important part is that I like PC stuff, and that's all that matters, But also, not just that, I was on the front of cash register line in supermarket, and there was this. There were like two women before me. One was like it's always like a small tray. Small assembly line, super small, that's where people with the supermarkets with the smallest assembly lines have the people with the biggest, groceries to buy. No, I'm just kidding, it wasn't that bad, but I've seen like, 1 meter long assembly line, or what it is. Or what is it? Tray, belt, assembly belt, tray, line, belt, whatever. The point is, woman to the other woman was like done packing in her things. Then the next woman kind of mentally blazed out of this world, what is it? A visual indicator where her where her stuff is on this line, on this tray, on this moving tray, and where my stuff begins. So she forgot maybe to put one in front. So there was already the blurry line to indicate that, was it the woman before that or was it her stuff? Then she also missed the part behind her where I put my stuff in, because I know you always gotta suspect the worst, and it pays off. Gotta be honest here. And the woman blitzed out of her world, Then the cashier woman asked, like, "Is this your grocery stuff?" And she, what? She looks confused to me. And like, yeah, sure, how should I react? I just, with the shoulders, what is this? Yep, the upward downward movement for indicating, I don't know, man, get your shit together. And then, funny thing is, like, you have one indicator, you have your second indicator. The third indicator is like, the woman is paying, I suppose, by card or something, or with cash. The cashier woman asked her, "Do you want a receipt with that?" Quite clearly. And the funny thing is, she says no. Then she packs her stuff in very, very fucking slowly, like she's on top of the world. She's at a mountain, looking just at the beautiful view. No people behind her. This mindset, I wish I could adapt it. Like, she's literally blocking everything, sideways and frontways and every ways, and it's a small pass-through floor, whatever. But the funny thing is, like, you know, just chillaxing, like, I'm minding my own business, man. There are other people. Since when are those people here? Like, I totally, like a new Pokemon spawning, you know, just ripped out of the, I don't know, what is this hole of non-consciousness, not realizing what's happening. It was amazing, man. And then, you know, the cashier asked her already, do you want a receipt? She magically says no. And this is one of those no's where you think, did she register it? You know, it's quite interesting. The woman buying the groceries. And of course she didn't register it. Then she packs her stuff in very slowly. My stuff gets already registered, you know. I'm already there at paying. I love this. When people in front of me are so slow. Doesn't matter if it's like one item or 100 items. Is it so fucking hard for you to put your shit in a bag or the, what is it, shopping cart tray thing? Is it really that bad, man? Are you really that much overwhelmed with life itself? Maybe just end yourself, you know? Hold your breath and just fall over, you know, until you're unconscious. Like I was saying, afterwards, like, then she packs her stuff in we're talking like snail speed. I'm not exaggerating, like this was snail speed, man, you know? And then, like at the third or fourth item, she looks up perplexed. Wait, where is my receipt? I think, yo man, this gotta be comedy. Where is my receipt? And you know, this is I tried to hold my laughter back. I looked dead serious. And then the cashier woman says, I asked you. You said no. And then the woman was putting her last thing into the bag or whatnot, you know, and left angrily and perplexed and like she was insulted or, you know, like hurt. This was interesting, you know. There are 3 steps, maybe 4 steps in this cash register supermarket process, you know. You lay your shit there. In the best or worst case, you put a separator between your stuff and the other person's stuff, and you pay timely, and you put your shit in the bag. And that is it. And the woman was like, this was like grade 5. I gotta say, out of 1 to 6, this was a grade 5, because she missed all the cues, all the signals, all the information. She was in her own mental space, whatever that means. And yeah, it was amazing, man. And then she left, you know, sad and mad, perplexed. And the cashier says, I asked you, you know, you didn't. It's not like she couldn't reprint it, I know this for a fact, but it's also too much of a hassle. I understand this as well. Also, if you allow this for one customer, especially if they're shitty, then all the shitty customers demand this. This is some sort of basic rule. The people who scream the loudest are the ones who need, hopefully, the least support. And if the loudest screamers get the most support, they scream louder, you know. As there's a pattern recognition. This is like with a baby, you know. When the baby cries, the mother appears and gets like breastfed or whatnot. But if the baby cries, and it cries and it cries and it cries, and the mother doesn't come, then the baby realizes at some point, maybe, hopefully, hey man, why do I cry? I can also not cry. Maybe it's teething pain or what else, you know, stomach, organs, whatnot, you know. But maybe it's just crying because of the sake of crying. There's like a feedback loop. I cry because I cry because I cry because I cry. That's what you hear sometimes. And this is also what takes over in adult life, I feel. Because yeah, if you let people like that get away with shit like that, luckily this is especially a good school in a big city like Munich, because no one gives a fuck about anything in some points, you know. There's like a 5% barrier for many people, where they say everything above 5% isn't worth my paycheck or what, you know, my hustle, my grind. But in Munich it's like 4 or 3% sometimes. And I gotta admit, you know, it's a chillaxed attitude. if the pay is shit, why should the work be good? And vice versa. But yeah, the woman hopefully learned a lesson. Hopefully, maybe not, you know. Hopefully, that's the worst part. She's not reflecting probably like, why did it end this way? Could I be the, not aggressor, but the fact, the actor or the reactor to the situation? And did I hand it poorly? Was it handled poorly? You know, that's the question at the end of the day. And yeah, it was handled poorly. But then it was my turn to pay. And the thing was like, I paid by card and I said, I definitely don't need a receipt. And she's the poor register woman, like shocked, traumatized, you know, shook to her bones. Like, seriously, I asked her, you know, man, you gotta ask everyone, trust me, man. I said, I know. I was laughing and she was laughing. We were on this level because like some people, man. And it's bad when you realize this as a customer. But when you're an employee, you have like this hyper awareness sense, you know. You live maybe 6 to 8 hours in this fucking cubicle, this tiny shitty little cubicle where you have to have spare change money and big bills and small bills and shitty customers and bad attitudes and shitty pay and overworked, and there's too much stuff to do, and the bosses don't give a fuck, and the store just looks like trash. And then the customer, like this customer, this is like the final straw, you know. This is what it boils down to. And yeah, I know I kind of exaggerated with the anecdote and whatnot. Maybe I overdid it, but I don't care. This was just cinematic. I experienced this in cinematic view, you know, and this is what's important at the end of the day, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah, that is what's happening, or what's been happening. Then alternative lifestyle, like I said, a little bit too much hustle bustle, grind to the bone. And the other thing is like, I gotta finish my thingamajig, but here's something that ChatGPT told me that nobody else told me. I seriously need to slow down, and this is quite hard for me, as when I don't slow down, I feel fucking worthless, man, you know. Throw me into the garbage, because garbage also does nothing. And I partially have this because there are one or two people in my life, persons, I wanted to say persons, fucking singular and plural shit. And there's some people in my life who are just like trash bags, and they don't get their act together. And this is where I can't, like, I'm overdoing it. I'm always overdoing, you know. And like 5 minutes of not doing anything. Today, to be fair, baby steps, I managed to look out the window and eat a banana. Now, this doesn't sound like much to you, but I feel bad when I do this stuff, you know. Like, this is like self-flagellation and with a whip, you know, like, why am I so shitty? Why do I not get my act together? But yeah, I wanted to look out about this mythical beast allegedly called burnout, because you do too much all the time, blah blah blah, and then you're overwhelmed with everything. I mean, yeah, sure, whatever you might call it, but at the end of the day, you need to get shit done. Neither you do this shit, or it'll pile up for tomorrow. And yeah, tomorrow, I love you tomorrow. I know, Annie, get your gun. No, that's the other Annie musical, the what is it, the orphan, with the orphanage. So yeah, what I'm saying is, there's time for this tomorrow, because maybe today I've overdone it a little, and this has to mean quite a lot. But I wanted to finish it, you know. I thought 5 p.m, but no, it was 5:30. But yeah, what should I do, man? If I gotta do the things, I gotta do the things. And this means doing the things. No if, else, or but. But yeah, I did that, and we're done. And that's everything that sort of matters. And Besides that, there is like, how should I put it? How should I put this? Yeah, I want to have this shit done so I can hyper focus on just on the media aspect, you know, and then I overdo it with the media stuff until I black out. I think blackout is like the final piece, like the final straw. Like, how should I put this, man? I think this is the next level of consciousness, you know, gaining awareness that you've overdone it, and everything makes sense now. And allegedly, if you don't take breaks, there's no learning progress, as you can never relax. The information that you process can never stick, you know. You learn it again and again, but no progress to be made. So I doubt that. If I'm totally honest with you, I highly doubt that, as it's possible to do too much, but also learn. Maybe worse, but still, man. Learning for the sake of learning, somewhat. But it's quite ironic. I think it's some sort of, yeah, the bittersweet irony is of, by being involved into too much stuff, you kind of miss out the bigger picture. And by being not full of lust of life, you know, the phases where I said I wish I had the guts to, you know, just off myself. But in regards to yeah, I see how shitty my surroundings are. I mean, they could be worse, but they also could be better. And I see myself like the question regularly remains: where do I see myself in 5 years? Will it be the same shitty hellhole, or will it have improvements? And dare I say it, I see a light at the end of the tunnel. But yeah, in the meantime, hustling and bustling. While certain areas make fun, the documentation and the process of it, contacting and running around is like, nah, that's not for me, man. But I think I do manage, and I pity the fools who can like relax for a day, because this is a missed day, you know? This time is getting shorter. The more you age, the shorter time gets. A day when you're 34 is like 1 second when you're 35. There's proportional loss in value, you know? Try to get that time back, sort of. And ironically, by fighting time, you're also losing against it. But yeah, maybe, just maybe, for 5 minutes I say fuck off, I don't give a shit, I relax, and then we'll see. Until then, information overload until I vomit, and until I have what I want. Yeah, and that's the end of my story. So I'll see you, and goodbye.